अगर आप अपने 20s या 30s में हो और बड़े सपने देख रहे हो,
अपनी औकात से बड़ा, अपनी हैसियत से बड़ा सोचते रहना चाहिए। क्या पता ऊपर वाला देख रहा हो और कह दे तथास्तु।
बड़ा सोचोगे तो बड़ा करोगे।
अगर आप लोग चांद के लिए छलांग नहीं मारोगे तो 10वें माले 20वें माले तक भी नहीं पहुंच पाओगे। सो यू हैव टू जंप द हाईएस्ट।
चाहे वो एक सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस बनाने का हो या एक फिट बॉडी का, पर रियलिटी ये है कि आप कंसिस्टेंट नहीं रह पाते। आप थोड़े दिन तो मेहनत करते हो बट फिर बर्नआउट का बहाना बना के ब्रेक लेने लगते हो। अगर आप सोचते हो कि एलन मस्क, जेफ बेजोस, बिल गेट्स जैसे लोग गॉड गिफ्टेड हैं और आप कभी उनके जैसे नहीं बन सकते, बट कभी आपने सोचा है कि वो लोग वहाँ कैसे पहुंचे? क्या वो ऐसी कोई चीज़ जानते हैं जो आप नहीं जानते? आज मैं बात कर रहा हूँ संचित गर्ग से, जो एक सीरियल एंटरप्रेन्योर है एंड ट्रैवल ट्रायंगल जैसी बड़ी कंपनी से $100 मिलियन की एग्जिट ले चुके हैं। अभी वो फाउंडर एंड सीईओ है Zime AI के, एंड इसके साथ साथ वो एक सर्टिफाइड एग्जीक्यूटिव कोच एंड बिहेवियरल साइंटिस्ट भी हैं। इस कन्वर्सेशन में संचित रिवील करेंगे टॉप 1% लोग का क्या माइंडसेट होता है जो उनको बाकी 99% जनता से अलग करता है। कैसे सक्सेसफुल फाउंडर्स बर्नआउट, सेल्फ डाउट और रिजेक्शन हैंडल करते हैं। क्या लक जरूरी है सक्सेस के लिए? इसे कैसे अट्रैक्ट करें? कैसे आप भी अचीव कर सकते हो जो आप मैनिफेस्ट करते हो? अगर आप वही 9 to 5 वाली जॉब में फंसे रहना चाहते हो तो ये वीडियो आपके लिए नहीं है। लेकिन आप अगर वो माइंडसेट सीखना चाहते हो जो आपको 99% लोगों से अलग करे तो इस वीडियो को एंड तक देखना।
You have to be lucky to be successful, no doubt. But luck only comes to you when you're working hard. Call founder a rejection-handling machine. You get rejected by investors, vendors, customers, employees, everybody. Frameworks are good. I'm more fan of the organic part. That makes me like a top 1%, not the frameworks. I have learned that if I'm connected to my strong core, and those days if I'm doing like 18 hours of work, it doesn't drain me.
एंड में हमने एक ऐसा बिजनेस आइडिया भी डिस्कस किया है जो कि यूनिकॉर्न बन सकता है, तो उसे मिस मत करना। मैं एक मिशन पर हूँ 100 फाउंडर से समझने का कि हाउ दे बिल्ड इट एंड उनकी लर्निंग्स आप तक पहुँचाने का एवरी संडे। सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और कमेंट्स में बताइए ऐसी कौन सी वो 2 लर्निंग्स हैं जो आपको टॉप 1% में जाने से रोक रही है। लेट्स डाइव इन।
So, like lot of people I talk to them is they consider this as a luck. ये कि वो ऐसे फैमिली बैकग्राउंड से आता है या फिर कुछ तो हो गया होगा बट he is lucky, right? Versus the talent or hard work which you have given in, right? Do you think like what are your views on this?
Luck versus hard work?
Yes.
I think you have to be lucky to be successful, no doubt. But luck only comes to you when you're working hard.
Okay. And does it comes from the experience as well? Like जब आपने travel triangle build किया या sell किया, do you felt that you were lucky at some points?
All the time. So when I was like a young entrepreneur and I would get success, let's say, big customer, big funding round, I would feel, oh, I've done something. But eventually when I exited, I was like looking back and I saw that there were so many moments when the company would just die down and things happen out of serendipity. Like we were trying to raise our first check, angel check in 2012. Entrepreneurship startup was not so cool then. And we basically went to almost every entrepreneur, every VC angel, and they all said no. And we all like almost gave up. And then I met Akshay in Penn IIT. Akshay is my senior from college. And he basically asked, you're doing startup. Okay, how much money do you need? And he wrote me a check. And the moment he wrote a check, all his friends wrote a check. And then when they wrote a check, my co-founder's friends wrote a check. And I could say it was me who did something, but essentially it was just serendipity. But I was trying my best. I was working hard on it. And then the serendipity had to meet. And this is not just one time. It happened at least 4 or 5 different instances at different stages of the company. When you were large, with 1,000 people team, it happened again. It kept on happening. So my learning was that you can either have an ego to call yourself the best, smartest person, the hardworking person, or you can appreciate the reality that you are working hard and then things have to come to you.
Let's say there is some new guy who have joined within your team, right? So is there a framework from your experience which you have gathered जिससे आप classify कर सको कि ये बंदा तो success कर जाएगा या फिर he will do good or he will fail?
I'll give you 2 answers there. One, framework is the crutch for lack of intuition. So whether a person will perform, not perform, a company will work, not work. There's a lot of intuitive understanding there. And sometimes when you lack the intuitive organicness 101 principles, you fall back on frameworks which are simple to learn, understand, apply, but they're also very limiting. So when you say frameworks, I've heard so many frameworks. If you don't do this one thing, you will fail. This is the framework for PLG. This is the framework for marketing. This is the framework for this and that. And they all have values. But once you connect to 101 principles, there's nothing like it. So my point is to use frameworks for what they are, not as totality.
Okay, but when you were just starting out, so intuition build करने में भी time लगता है, right?
Yeah.
So when you were just starting out, you don't have that intuition. You were very young entrepreneur just trying to figure out something. So
Yeah.
उस time में like what was your thinking? कि you were sticking to a framework या फिर like how was it?
I mean, when I did my first company, Travel Triangle, there were no frameworks then. It was too early. When I started my third company, I had my experience. So I would see frameworks. I would appreciate them for a minute, but then I would also laugh at them.
Got it. And like before Travel Triangle also, you were building one company, Golygon,
Yeah.
I guess. So did you had some learning there which you applied in Travel Triangle, and do you think ये second time जब मैंने company या फिर किसी idea पे काम किया तो वो successful हो गया?
No, I mean, back in 2011, I was doing Travel Triangle as my primary company, but we didn't raise money, and I exhausted my savings. So I had to open a consulting company, Golygon, to work 5 days there, and then those 5-day earning would make the ends meet for me, my co-founders, our house, office, and like 5 people's salaries. So it was more like a consulting work to keep the engine running. But
Got it.
it's not like I've not used framework. I use framework when I have lack of intuition, but I've understood that they're deep, like, not most frameworks are like also very deeply limiting. You can get started from frameworks, but just don't use them as totality. Build your frameworks, use them, you'll get to some insight, but then apply 101 principles or keep a room for iterating beyond the frameworks based on as you get the experience, as you get the intuition. My point is not that frameworks are bad. My point is that frameworks are limiting.
Do you want to explain this like with an example, like while during building Travel Triangle or anything, जहाँ पर आपको लगा हो कि I was sticking to the framework, but that was not working actually?
Yeah, let's say VC slides. So you have the 10 slide template for a VC. And you can and that's a good starting point. If you don't know anything, start from there. But it's not the story. When a VC decides whether to invest or not invest, I'm not a VC, but from my experience, they are looking for a story. It's not about those 10 slides. It's about them understanding what category do you operate in, who are the competitors, what is the room there. If you're in a busy category, if you're in a very new technology innovation and you're doing a PhD, they're trying to understand how deep technical you are. The point is, depending on what you are building and where they're investing, their story changes. That story is very unique. Whenever I talk to a VC, the conversation is very unique, very raw. They have their own thesis about the market. They have their own fitment criteria. I have my own thing that I'm building. And that has to marry and match. No slide deck 10 templates can do that job. You have to be organic enough in the call to understand where they're coming from, what are their criteria, where do you match, where do you don't match, and then pull up those 10 slides or not pull up those 10 slides, put a 15 slide, but close those gap areas.
This ideology, like moving towards intuition when frameworks are not working.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point, like when you realized this for the first time? Like, it was during Travel Triangle or like the first company which you were building?
No, it was after I built my first company, Travel Triangle. That's when I got into that's when I learned that frameworks are limiting and my intuition is more worth than my frameworks. To move from intuition, to move from frameworks to intuition, you need a lot of self-confidence, faith, courage, trust, lack of, impersonative syndrome. I don't know what to call it. you need to believe that you can do it, and you can go to one principles, and you can go to the depth, and you can find the right answer. If you don't believe it, you fall back to frameworks.
So like you need to be self-confident while following your intuition, right? According to you. But
You need to be self-confident, you need to be humble. You need to be like, I'll get there, but in the path I will fall, stumble, I'll pick up, I'll go through that process, but that's the organic way to learn.
got it. And now like
Sorry,
talking about
I'll give you one more example. Sachin Tendulkar is not a framework guy, right? The way he would play, I mean, it's not that he's not taking coaching or not learning, but the way he would play, you can't learn from any framework. You can do all the coaching and it will tell you how to like move the bat around, how to, move the feet around. And that always improves you, but you can't be Sachin Tendulkar with those coaching classes.
Yep,
For
I
that,
think
you have to be organic. You have to have the first principles.
this is like very much replicable to any of the great player. Like let's say Virender Sehwag.
Yeah.
ये वो आते ही started like sixes and fours, right? So
Yeah.
that is like
I
out of
think,
framework.
and again, Rahul Dravid would be a more process person, right? But even he is not bound to framework. He has his own process of doing things. He has his own book of doing things. But frameworks are good to like, I'm more fan of the organic part. That makes you like a top 1%, not the frameworks.
Have you heard about Novak? He's like one of the he's right on rank 1 tennis player in singles, right? I was like going through his interview and he said like when you are at the top, even then you have a self-doubt in yourself, right? 7 of the 10 people you will see they're self-doubting yourself, right? So even like when you have built up travel triangle and then you started inner fit and then Zime, right? So how did you manage with that self-doubt so you can basically trust your intuition at that moment?
It's a mix of a lot of things, right? Like for a founder, pre-PMF phase is a area where I call founder a rejection handling machine. You get rejected by investors, vendors, customers, employees, everybody. And in the evening, you will come back to your dinner table or your friend circle and you say, all is well. It's going well. So you handle the rejections. You go against the grain, make things happen. And now you're post PMF, you're getting customers in, you're getting the money in, you're building the team. And they all sort of respect you because you got it till there, right? And at some point of time, it may also convert to be a yes man team because you are the one who's driving things. And now you're driving things. You also have a board pressure. You have competition, and there's lots to lose suddenly. So as a founder, you are not trained to handle that pressure, and you start saying, "Okay, I want it yesterday." To the team, you have that pressure and you pass it down. How you pass it down is very very different, right? So as a founder, you start saying, "I want it yesterday. I am the best. I can do it. Why you not able to do it?" And that creates a ego bias. And we see a lot of founders, stories keep coming up every now and then, how they cross that line, right? So it's not just self-doubt, it's also a part of pressure or lack of security of losing too much or having so much to lose, along with fear of losing all of that comes into play. There are a lot of mixed bag of cocktails. For each founder, they have their own bag, own cocktail, but it comes into play, and it comes more or less out as they become hyper aggressive with the team, with the methodologies, and it just breaks sometimes.
Let's say जब आपको अपना पहले चेक मिला, right, from your senior, so उससे पहले there would be a lot of rejections, right? आपने कुछ idea try करो, it didn't work out, then you started consulting, right? So during that time when you were like around, I guess in the 20s, right? So how did you train yourself to handle those rejections at that moment?
I mean, in 2010, 11, 12, right? You don't even think about these things. I was like 25-year-old then. Handling rejection, learning to handle rejection, they were like all foreign concepts. Now I'm aware, I'm 40-year-old now. Then it was like, you will come back, you will sulk, you will have good friends, good co-founders. Um, you tell them, they tell you, and you move on. A more simpler world. Now, there's so much pressure on the young entrepreneurs, and the expectations are so high, and there's so many success stories on social media. It becomes hard for them to survive that. Back when I was young entrepreneur, it was not so hard.
Right now, any advice you want to give to the young entrepreneurs? This is how the things work out, or this is how, like, this is what actionable you can do to train yourself to handle no's or rejections.
Actionable is easy, right? Build that emotional fitness to become a strong rejection handling machine. To become a rejection handling machine, you have to not get affected by ups and downs, by rejections and by compliments both equally. For that, you have to detach yourself from the outcomes and have a strong core. So you're not a boat that can be rocked by ups and downs of the circumstances. You have your own stable anchor, stable core. To build that stable core, stable anchor is a year, 5-year, 10-year work. To do that, meditation, executive coaching, other modalities, and they're all available today.
How does meditation help in this?
Fundamentally, the word meditation is also very overloaded, but fundamentally the concept, the outcome is to build the core. So when you're in meditation, you are trying to be thoughtless. You are trying to come to a place where you are in the present, not thinking. You feel connected to your own spirit or your own self. And that connection would happen when you're not guilty about letting somebody go. You're not guilty. You're not aggressive about, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. You're not feeling over responsibility about, oh, I have to make sure this client money comes in, this thing happens. And to detach from all of these things, you have to come to a thoughtless state, see your patterns, let them settle in, let your inner core or inner spirit work on it. I have a blog on my LinkedIn on more details around here.
Mhm.
But once you are able to see these patterns and cocktail inside you in a thoughtless awareness state, they start getting solved automatically.
Eventually, like through meditation, if you start doing it today, so it will definitely take a time to basically inside you to get that maturity to basically detach yourself from outcomes.
Yeah.
Like founders or top 1% people which I meet, right? Like even you also, like you are like, always think about what can go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Instead of what have gone right, right? So like even the same interview, Novak, he also mentioned when he reached the rank 1 in tennis, right? So there was a lot of, like initially he have a lot of delta to cover up, right, to reach that first place, but later on that delta was decreased, right? And being in a such environment where people were keep criticizing him कि तेरा ये shot अच्छा नहीं है या ये shot अच्छा नहीं है, right? So that really helped him. But this also comes with again a mental pressure, right? कि आपको सब criticize ही करे जा रहे हैं या कोई अच्छा बोल ही नहीं रहा, so it is very difficult to thrive in that environment, right? But on one side we have our like mental stability which we need to keep up, and on the other side we also need to understand how we can improve from the feedbacks, right? So how do we manage all this?
I think you have to again build that core, right? So the whole point is not to get attached to circumstances. So let's say I'm not attached to circumstances.
Hmm.
When a feedback or a criticism comes, I more or less get excited. Oh wow, I learned something new. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I feel bored. But if I'm the dumbest person in the room, I'm like, oh wow, there's so much to learn. this guy told me such a nice thing to learn, right? Because I'm not taking it personally. I'm taking it as a new thing I'm learning, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I go through my own cocktail, but I'm trying to tell the principles on how to not get affected by criticism, right? You don't need to have And if you're connected to your core, you know that you're already complete, you're perfect with your imperfections, and that's enough for you. You don't need a praise.
Got it. So it's
The need for
basically,
social validation goes away.
so it's all through the meditation, like which one can achieve.
Yeah.
Okay, just out of curiosity, as you said, doing meditation, it's a very long process, right?
Yep.
कि आपको 5 साल 10 साल रेगुलरली प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा, right? And when I see and when I talk to people who are of my age, 24, 25, they are like कि नहीं भाई हमें तो अभी चाहिए, अभी ये बिल्ड करना है, right? मतलब we don't have like 5-10 साल who will invest, right? So in that case, like what would be your advice? Or
Yeah, it's a philosophical question. Nothing against the youngsters who want to go fast or slow. That's perfectly fine, right? I was in the same place, but I realized that jaldi kya hai? There's a lot of time. The hurry or the urgency is also a state of mind. Nobody's stopping you to do more. Do whatever you want to do. Compress your time. But you can't make a tree grow in 5 days, no matter how much water and uh, manure you put in. It takes its time to grow. So it's a tree that you have to grow inside you, and that takes time. There's no shortcut to it, and that's that taking time is the part of fun, right? It's like if it grows the next day, you got your eyes, you got your ears, you got your hands on day zero. Now you take them for granted. This is a challenge which is given to you to enjoy for a longer time and build it. This is a part of muscle that you build it for a longer time. You can't get to a shortcut there, and that's the fun part of it.
when we talk about the, like this is Zepto ka founder, right? He's 20, 21, 22, and he have built a very large company, right?
Yeah.
So do you think, like, what's your opinion on that? कि like उसने पहले मेहनत करी होगी या he really got lucky and got like actual very quick success?
I mean, I don't know about him, but all the kudos for him to get to that scale so fast in the life. Hats off to him or her, whoever they are. But my answer is again the same. You don't have to be the smartest person to get there. You have to be the hardworking, smart person, and then the luck has to come to carry you there.
Got it.
I am sure he would have gone through his own moments of, oh no, it's over. But then something happened and it took him to the other side. A lot of founders are aware of this. Some are not aware of this. And they build the false ego that it was me who built it, who took it from me.
Talking about the hard work and staying consistent on whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
Right. So there will be a lot of days while you are building stuff, you feel like कि यार मैं क्या ही कर रहा हूँ, right?
Yeah.
You will be like am I doing the right thing? क्योंकि I'm just building out, मेरे पास account में पैसा नहीं है, I don't know what to do next, right?
Yeah.
खाना कहाँ से आएगा, ये कहाँ से आएगा? So lot of self doubt, right? And a lot of pressure you need to put upon yourself to stay consistent, right? And there will be days where you'll be like कि आज तो काम करने का मन नहीं है या फिर आज तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, the lot of mental backlog, right? So how do you basically deal with those days while building something?
Yeah. It's surprising that I also go through my own time when like I'm burnt out. I don't want to do things and let me do a binge watching.
Mhm.
Right? It comes to me when I am less connected to my core. Because the less I'm connected to, the more I get burned down by doing things. Because I get emotionally invested and I lose my emotional energy or whatever energy is so fast. Rolling up a ball up the hill takes a lot of energy, and if you lose it too fast, you end up in a wrong place. But I have learned that if I'm connected to my strong core, and those days if I'm doing like 18 hours of work, it doesn't drain me because I'm enjoying the moment. I'm playing my game. It's like I can play tennis, soccer, cricket, chess, whatever I like for the whole day, or video games, right? So if you start being in that spirit during the day, not consider challenges playing you, but you play the challenges, not the game playing you, but you play the game. You start coming to a place where you can remain engaged with yourself and enjoy the ball rolling up exercise, and that creates energy for you, not drains energy from you. And then those kind of moments of binge watching and burn down automatically goes down. So that's the right way to solve it. But yeah, I mean, if you are burnt out, you need a well-placed pause. Well-placed pause makes the melody.
Okay. And like, do you think people like an Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, right? There's a Elon Musk is now handling multiple companies, right? You have multiple stakeholders to manage in a day.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think like वो कैसे करता होगा? Like, do you have any opinion on that कि वो meditation ही करता होगा या फिर there is like how does he do all that?
I don't know what he does, but he's really good at managing multiple companies, and that's why he's where he is.
Uh,
Is he my role model? No.
okay, then like who is your role model currently?
I mean, I like some folks. I like Nandan Nilekani a lot for what he does, what he builds, more balanced, right? Um, uh, I don't think that the net worth of an individual is what I respect or I chase. Net worth of an individual is more like a made up number in the current capitalistic world. But somebody who is really balanced, does the right things, smart enough to build good big things, that's where I respect them more as a whole person. I can respect Elon Musk for running multiple companies, but not as a role model.
Like how do you at this stage when you have built multiple companies, how do you see wealth right now? Is it just a number or like कि सिर्फ इतना पैसा काफी है कि I should have my खाना पीना all that stuff daily course going on?
I'll again come back to the core. But Bill Gates told after $1 million, it's all a hamburger. If you see the net happiness graph plotted against GDP per capita, you will see it goes up. As the income goes up per capita, your happiness goes up. It saturates and it goes down. When I was running Zime, I started InnerFit before this. And for a few years, I was in Bay Area. I did not take any salary. And I had to build my emotional muscle that I don't have to have financial security. I can live at zero easily. Like when I worked at Golygon in 2011, imagine me coming out of Yahoo, having a good cash balance in my account, all getting spent in my startup. And the day I saw zero in my account, I was like froze. Took me 3 days. But then I built this consulting company, got the money in. And that gave me so much confidence of not having the need to have a financial security. That doesn't mean that I spend the money or I don't invest or I don't save. It's just that I am confident, I have the core that I will survive. If God gave me tummy, He will give me food. That's not going anywhere. My burger is not going anywhere. I think that again comes back to who you really are inside. And the moment you're not chasing behind a net worth number. At least that's what changed for me. I'm not behind a number. I'm behind what really adds meaning to my life, what I really want to do. And for that, number is nothing. You spoke to enough people who have made a lot of money and they're enough chaos in their life. So I'm okay with keeping my life simple but more meaningful.
Don't you get stressed like right now you are in your 40s, you have a kid and you have a family, right? And like versus a guy who is in 20s, उसके पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है, right? Still he is stressed कि कैसे होगा, parents are putting pressure कि शादी कर लो, right? they are putting pressure कि नौकरी क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो, right? So how like do you manage that like with your family as well?
Yeah, pressure डालना और pressure लेना, somebody can put pressure, but whether you take pressure is on to you, right? That doesn't mean that you don't earn money or you live in like meager life. No, you should live like a king. You should have a good life. But you should not have the financial insecurity. So when in my third company, when I went through not earning for some time, I had to again build my financial, I had to build my muscle so I'm not insecure for my financial security. And then I had to also do it with my wife and kid. So my wife and I had discussions, and she was amazing and super supportive. I felt like very lucky to have her. But then she also built that muscle that, okay, you don't have to go to Disneyland if you have Disneyland inside you. If you're well satisfied and well happy with yourself, you don't have to find the happiness in a Disneyland. That doesn't mean you don't have to go to Disneyland. Go and have fun, but you don't have to go there to find your satisfaction or happiness. So that was the learning curve that we all went through the family, and now we're okay.
Got it. Do you believe in manifestation?
What manifestation?
So basically, what my definition of manifestation is, okay, if you have a dream, right, and you think about it regularly, or like I was reading few books, and there are few activities, okay, you put the water in the glass, right, what you want, and drink it, and also obviously do the hard work as well, right, but keep imagining that life that you wanted to achieve, right, in some other way. So do you believe in that कि अगर manifest करोगे तो हो जाएगा?
Yeah. I believe in manifestation, but not the way you described it.
Okay.
I believe in the manifestation of, if you have a pure desire, it will happen. If you want a BMW because your neighbor has an Audi, and you keep thinking about it, you keep writing and you keep drinking water on it, it won't happen. So your desire has to be pure. And then you have to also not overthink about it or be hyperactive about it, but you have to be balanced about it. It will happen.
And when you say pure desire, what does that actually mean?
It depends for people to people, right? You can have a desire to have an Audi, just not because of jealousy, FOMO, somebody's putting pressure. You have a conditioning, past baggage. None of those things. But if you want to do an Audi, but because you want it.
Okay, and how would you define being materialistic, okay, running behind material things versus manifesting versus desire that you actually want, right? Because there is I think that there is a very thin line between this.
Yeah, I mean, I can't answer for anybody else because this has so many questions, word which require definitions.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I started my first company, I wanted to put my name on the map. Travel Triangle happened. I got where I wanted to get from there, and I realized that it was not the outcome, or the chase was worth it, but not the end outcome. It's like, Batman movie. A dog chases the car, but what does he do after he gets the car? So for me personally, it's more about the experiences, how I add meaning to my life. And it took me a lot of time to work and figure out what adds meaning to my life. Right now, it's driving behaviors for millions. That's what Zime is, starting from sales where the money also is. But you have to find what adds meaning to your life. Each has their own answer.
Looking back to the Sanchit who is right now running Golygon or trying to build Travel Triangle, what are the few things which you will tell him कि भाई अगर तू ये कर लेता तो journey would have been more easier? Is there anything like that?
To myself?
Yes, your younger self.
I mean, there are hundreds of things I could have done better, but they won't apply to somebody, me doing I don't have a regret, or I don't have I have to change something like this. So it's not that I did all the right things. I did so many mistakes. I could have done 10 more things, but I don't think about it like that. If you are doing Travel Triangle now, I can look at your perspective and give you some of the advice, but there's nothing to tell my younger self.
Got it. If not your younger self, but someone who is just a young entrepreneur and trying to build. to him
Yeah.
or her? What you will give?
I mean, I would tell them, find something you really want to do. It could be perfectly fine to say, I want to build a company, sell it in 2 years, make some money. That's a great answer. Or oh no, I am really passionate about building new motorbikes and I want to build them, or whatever your push point is. But find that something that you really feel that it is aligned to your, what you really value. And then go for it. It's a great time to build, always is. And um, uh, don't worry about success failure. Think about success failure, plan of success failure, but don't worry about it. It's 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 as much as in your control as much as it is not. So 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 define your area of control, do it, enjoy it, have fun, and then let it happen. It will happen.
How would someone find what they love or what they want to do?
That's a hard question. I don't have an answer to it. I did it once, but it took me like 5-6 years.
How did you figure it out?
I mean, I kept on doing what I wanted to do. When I was, in my school, in my 7th, 10th grade, I would study hard, get into IIT. It was what I wanted to do. I got into IIT, came out, I wanted to do a job, get some money, got into Yahoo, realized money is not the problem. You have enough money in life. Then I wanted to put something on the mark, my name on the map. So I got Travel Triangle in, got that going. And by 32, I was like, now what? All my check marks are done. So then I was like, okay, now what really adds meaning to my life? And then I was like, it won't be building a company. It won't be like doing these things. So I went deep into, okay, let me see what does Vedas say. Let me see what does astrophysics say, quantum physics say. What does executive say, executive coaching say, meditation say. That was my modality to find my answers. But it came like after a lot of zigzag, up and downs. It was not a straight line for me.
You also mentioned astrology. So do you believe like stars and all that stuff really?
I meant astronomy.
Astronomy, okay.
I was trying to figure out what is the smallest thing: electron, photon, chords, and then of course quantums. Versus what is the biggest thing, which is like planets and then galaxies and then the universe. What happened on Big Bang and what happened 13.5 billion years down, right now, and what's happening in the 100 million years. I was trying to figure out like what's the meaning of this entire scheme around us.
Okay. Did you able to figure it out or able to build a something out of it?
Yeah, but that answer is like very philosophical. That's for some other time. Somebody can read the double slit experiment on YouTube. Ping me, I can send you the link.
Okay.
It will inform in one line. My understanding became that reality is a perception.
Reality is a perception. Okay. Now, like talking about systems, I was reading this book, Atomic Habits. Right, this is very popular and very generic book. Right?
James Clear, I read it.
Sorry.
James Clear, right?
Yes. James Clear. Yes. So he mentioned that you need to build systems around you, right? So when there is a moment when you feel like I don't want to work or don't want to do something, so that system will push you to do that particular thing. So have you like built that, or do you even believe in this?
So it's like this. There are two ways of thinking it, right? One way of thinking is you are already rolling a ball up the hill. You are burnt out. You don't feel like working. And now you have an external system which is again putting pressure on you to work. And that means making you work. So it will burn you out even more, right? You are basically putting a patch on the patch on the patch. And you can keep putting more patches. It will take you one step forward, but it will also drain you out more. Versus if you are intrinsically motivated and you enjoy what you're doing, and then you go through that because you're connected to what adds meaning to you, right? If your value system is aligned, then these things happen naturally. In that natural place, I can put the systems and optimize myself. That's for me the fair ask. But if somebody is already pressured and they're burnt out and you're putting them under more pressure, it's going to be a disaster one day or the other.
In a case where you have already built out a small company, right? And there are already systems there, right? For each and everything. And you are also part of that system. So when you are burnt out, it's just you get out of that system for a day or two and take some rest. Is it that what you are suggesting?
Yeah, I mean, take some rest. Don't get burnt out you get burnt out when you drain energy of rolling the ball up the hill versus not enjoying and gaining the energy of some nice challenges you're having. So if you start treating challenges as a candy, it's lucky to have challenges in your life, right? The right challenges. They become more like candy and you gain energy. You don't get burned out at the first place. But if you do, then yes, take rest, recharge, come back, but be organic.
So basically, let's say someone is doing something which they really wanted to do and they are getting burnt out. So what this actually mean is they're not actually doing the thing they really wanted to do. Is that what it means?
Yeah. Either you have people around you who are negative, who are draining your energy, or you're taking too much pressure and you're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to get this done, I have to meet this outcome. Or you're like, oh, I have so much less time and I have to do a long list of things. I have to be like quick. But you're taking pressure on yourself. Instead of saying, oh, I have this new thing to do. Let me explore. Let me be creative. Let me try a few things. Oh, I want to try like this. That comes from like intuition and self-core versus do this, do that, calendars, frameworks, negative people around you. It just drains your energy.
Anytime do you feel so let's say everyone has 24 hours in a day, right? So you spend around 12, 13, 15 hours working and then later on you get on to sleep, right? But when you are very passionate about something, it also happens that when you get to sleep, there are the same work things are going in your mind, right? And when you let's say you wake up at 8 a.m. When you wake up tired क्योंकि रात को तो वही चीजें घूम रही थी in your mind, right? So how do you like press that shutdown wala button to your brain कि okay, now this is 8 hours, this is the time to rest?
Yeah, it took me 3-4 years and I still have like good and bad days. It's very hard to be on for 12 hours and then come back to dinner table with your family and not think work at dinner or post dinner during sleep. And that's why you have to know that you are not your work. You are your spirit, you are your inner core. Work is a place to show your creativity. It's done. You're not attached to the outcomes. You're not attached to solving the problems. You're not worried about solving the problems. You know it will happen when it has to happen. and you have that faith and confidence. For me, when these went up, my thoughts became less.
Talking about someone who is in 20s, right? They're very passionate about. So at that moment, what activity they can do or what that is there something which they can incorporate in daily life to get that switch or whatever it is?
So your question is what is actionable? Actionable is the
Yes.
executive coaching and meditation. And it takes time. Whatever you learned for last 10 years, it can't take it out in 10 minutes. It will take the
And-
next 2 years to unlearn all of those things.
What exactly is executive coaching?
So all these leaders, whether it is Google's founders, Sergey Brin, Larry Page, Bill Gates, they all talk about having an executive coach for themselves, wherein this coach would ask you all the questions like you're asking me right now, but to you personally, and find out your cocktails. Oh, I've become hyperactive. I'm not satisfied because of this. I have these regrets. I have this guilt, whatever, right? And then they help you sort it out by building new perspectives.
And how are you sure that executive coach have gone through all that? Like how they are trained?
They don't have to go through. They are trained. I am a licensed executive coach. Coaches are trained to ask questions. they don't answer. The belief is the answer is in you. Like I'm giving you my answers. I can't give the answer for somebody else. If you're giving the answer for somebody else, then it's called mentorship. You go to a mentor who had the experience and now you're learning from the experience. Coaching is not mentorship. Coaching is somebody asking you all the questions which are getting you to a place where you can see yourself, what are the problems and then the solutions. Meditation is a more organic way of doing it, wherein you get to the same place, get into thoughtlessness.
And for someone who want to start meditation, what's the right approach to that?
That's a great question. um, when I was looking for meditation, I applied in all the meditative schools and everything. But then I realized that I found my meditation in a place where I could experience my own inner self much better. There was a quick feedback loop. I practice Sage meditation regularly, but it's not about the modality, it's about the outcome. The outcome is being able to experience your own self, your chakras, your energy, understand what is going wrong, what is going right, how to fix them. All this, for me, everything has been taught by Sage meditation. That's what I practice. But the outcome is this. To get started, you're welcome to find either, if you're okay with Sage meditation, there are a lot of people who practice it. You can go on their website. It's all free, zero money. I've not paid anything for forever. I'm here for 10, 12 years now. So there's no motivation, hidden motivation, ulterior motivation there. So you can try that out from the website. You can ping me. I can get you started. Happy to help anybody who's trying this. But if you find something else, that's also fine. But make sure you're not paying. There are no ulterior motives, because it's also easy to get people into a wrong place if the intent is not the right.
So like when I was trying to get started with meditation, right? So I don't know, like somehow I linked meditation with some new supernatural activities happening around me, right? Like at night I used to sleep getting the light on, right, when I was doing meditation. So is this like normal? Does everyone face this, or like it is something?
No, I think it's not supernatural. Meditation definitely is not in the Western education, because what I experience in my energies, in my things were never experienced in my education in science, physics, maths. But it is not supernatural. It's all in the system, and it's like you see from your eyes, you start experiencing one more dimension in the body.
Got it. And like how does that dimension looks or feels like?
It feels like thoughtless awareness. It may start for a second, millisecond. It extends for a minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And when you sit there and you get to a thoughtlessness, you don't want to come out of it. So you want to sit on meditation for a long time, but you're not thinking anything. In that moment, you feel that you are complete as you are. You are perfect with your imperfections, and there's nothing to achieve, nothing to do more, nothing to be perfect about. There are no conditionings, no wants, no desires. You just be there and build, and let the core build, let the spirit come to you.
Isn't it really difficult when you're starting out to even sit for 5 to 10 minutes without anything? So how do we practice that?
You need a candle to light a candle. That's why I'm saying, you need a person to get you started with. But then I picked up after like 2-3 weeks. It's not the most easiest thing, that like eating a chocolate. It will take time. It will take effort, like going to a gym.
Coming back to like startup building and that. So like I was reading in an article that there are two type of decisions, right? Or two type of decisions that you make. One is reversible, one is irreversible. right? And I'm sure that each and everyone faces that type of decision making in their lives, right?
Yeah.
But while like building up startup, you need to decide, okay, what you need to go forward with, right? And quickly go forward it, or what you need to pause or take time. Let's say there are thing one, you need to quickly run that prototype or run that test and quickly get the results. And there is second type of thing where you need to spend time, right? You need to spend 1 week, 2 weeks to get the result out of it, right? So how do you differentiate what comes in category one, reversible design, what comes in category two?
I think people, products, it's very hard to change and iterate them. So they are almost always irreversible. What is reversible is A/B testing, button colors, pricing strategies, and again they all depend in the context to context. It's a very contextual question, but I have found people wherever people are involved, I would not iterate. I would think before and I would create the right 3, 6, 9 month roadmap.
In your like building travel triangle or building Zime, did you face any of such problem which you want to give an example of, just to build a better understanding?
Of irreversible, reversible.
Yes.
As a CEO, I have to, like, my job is to make decision in 2 minutes. Sometimes I feel like that, right? It's because there's so many decisions to be done across product, engineering, customer success, sales, so many customers, fundraising, PMM. And a lot of these decisions are reversible, where it's about trying out things, testing out things, like what feature to build, feature A versus feature B. And if I don't have a strong preference, I would just say, you take a call, go ahead. Or I would take a call very fast and move ahead. But if it's about how do I build my team, who am I hiring? If I'm hiring a senior leader, how will his 6 months, 1 year look like? How will they get motivated in the team? How will they get enough challenges, enough outcomes, best generation? Then they have to be thought upfront. I can't go to them ill prepared. They need my 3 hours for me to do a 5-10 minute meetings.
From every guest, we ask one or two startup ideas or one or two business ideas which they think could work out. So, any of that suggestion you want to give?
Well, it's a great time to build. What one can build is up to, again, so many questions. But if I were to decide what to build now, I would say during a gold rush, sell shovels. Everybody is going behind AI, and that means a lot of these companies are building AI tools, setting up AI at infra, and now it's a time to sell shovel. So how can you make the AI adoption faster, easier, versus competing in the front-running AI category? Don't build an application that's super crowded already, but how do you enable multiple application creators to create faster, better?
So, basically, building an ecosystem of
Yeah, the
building
ecosystem
AI.
that big, because the ecosystem is wrong word, because you have these large companies who have built the models and they will eat the ecosystem. But what they can't do, and you will still need to be done for each applications, which are like verticalized, something like that.
Thank you, Sanchit. Like, you can just ask everyone to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, they know it already. Well, Karthik is a great founder, and I'm sure I enjoyed the chat today. But if you want to keep hearing more, please do subscribe, and that will let Karthik keep rolling out such podcasts for all of you. Thank you.
थैंक यू ये एपिसोड एंड तक देखने के लिए एंड शेयर दिस एपिसोड टू समवन हु यू थिंक विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन फ्यूचर एंड चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लेना बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प अस टू ब्रिंगिंग मोर अमेजिंग फाउंडर्स एंड बिजनेस पर्सन और कमेंट सेक्शन में बताओ आप नेक्स्ट किसके एक्सपीरियंस से सीखना चाहते हो